There you go. It's on now.
All right.
Hey, Jen. Obviously, you played Thursday, and a lot of things went really wrong. It seems like your team fixed a lot of those things and played the best team in the country down to the wire. What worked well, and how are you feeling through the ebbs and flows of that game, Jen?
Just so proud of how hard we played. We talked about being mentally and physically tough, no matter what happened. If we hit some adversity, just staying solid through it and being really tough and withstanding it. And, I felt like tonight we felt like we could score against them if we just handled their pressure. They're a physical team. They really pressure you defensively more than I think probably anybody in our league, and like a man-to-man up pressure. And I thought we did a good job offensively with moving the ball, trying to find open players. I don't think we shot the ball particularly well. And I really think the free throw shooting, which is a strength or had been, has really become an Achilles heel for this team. I mean, you look at that and that makes me sick to see you had number one in the country beat and missed 12 free throws, shot 50%. You just can't do that.
Jen, I wanted to ask you about your two seniors. And I know you don't like to talk about past teams. I think this is your 9th year, but
right.
You guys are avoiding injuries. I don't want to even jinx it, but that's kind of been the Achilles heel the last few years. But just talk about having those two and what it means to you guys this year.
Well, those two have been through the wars, through the battles, and they understand what we're trying to do and what every night's going to look like in the conference. And I think they by no means are perfect, but those two play as hard as anybody, and they work on their games all the time. And I'd go to battle with, everybody on our team I'd go to battle with every night, but to have those two and the experience level of what they've experienced here and how they've fought through it and had to handle adversity and dealing with COVID this year, and it's just such an awkward year, but nothing seems to faze them. So I think this team as a whole just has this, gratefulness that when we get to play, and that was the thing that was disappointing to us on the Georgia Tech game, was I think our expectations are so high that when we don't meet those ourselves, we struggle with how do we handle that. And, tonight I thought we had really high expectations, and we were, withstanding most of those. We were kind of living up to those high expectations we have of ourselves. Our defensive effort I thought was phenomenal. Just being in the right spots at the right times. We didn't foul them a lot. There was a couple of key ones late that hurt us, but just overall the effort and then from everyone on the team, whether they got in tonight or didn't get in the team tonight, the energy was just so good.
What's been the biggest difference this year compared to other seasons? Maybe is it just you guys are staying away from the injury bug?
I think we've got a lot of weapons, and I think they have learned to trust each other and understand that there's a lot of different people that can score, and we all score in a variety of ways. And this team is built on being complementary to each other. And so how do I complement Ivana Ratza? How do I complement Conti or Mora or Scruggs or Spear or, Liv Samuel tonight off the bench? Her offensive rebounding was huge for us. And, I just think that's, my challenge to them before the game was I need you to be the best version of you can be tonight. And that's what we need. And this team, I think, starts to understand that. And, I think there's a lot of experience and there's a lot of confidence. And, most of the kids that are on this squad right now know what the people have done before and how hard they fought to get the respect that we want. And this group just wants to take it to the next level, based on some of what's been before. So it's not easy. Our conference every year, we get excited about who we have, and then you see who everybody else has, and you're like, okay.
Dana Evans ended up with 25 points, but she had to launch 22 shots to get to that. Do you feel like you made her really work for her production tonight? And then what did you think of Gina's defensive effort down that late stage, getting that block shot and breaking out the other way?
Yeah, I thought for the most part, other than I thought the 1-3 she did hit there late, and it was way deep. I thought that was a wide open look, but I don't really blame Gina for that because she was so far out. I don't know that I would have thought she was going to shoot it. She's a phenomenal player. I agree with those that are talking out there about national player of the year caliber kid, because I think she does everything. She's doing the little things now. It's not just about her scoring. It's trying to get other people involved and finding the right teammate for the right shot. But then when she has to, and she has to put them on her back and she has to go get a bucket, she goes and gets it. I mean, the game winner is a prime example of that. And, I just think that, when you've got that kid, and she's the same way. I mean, she the first 2 years in this conference, she sat back and was battling and was the sixth player of the year and then became the player of the year. Like what that kid's put in work ethic wise and what she's learned and what she does for that team. And she's got lots of pieces around her. I thought we did a good job on several of their other pieces. And then I thought that when she had to put them on her back and win it for them, she did it.
No, obviously you wanted the victory and you had it right in your grasp. But does your team come out of this with a knowledge at this point, as you go through the rest of the season, that you can play with anybody in the country and you can beat anybody in the country from this point forward?
Well, it's something I'll remind them every day because now I got them. I think this team has a belief in themselves. I think our challenge for this group is to not have these ups and downs. And, you've got to bring this kind of level of focus and attention to detail to every game we play and to every practice. And sometimes it's there and sometimes it's not. And, I think this has been a really tough stretch on us. And we've been good and haven't had any COVID issues. And there's been teams that have had them and have had a long break. And they're frankly probably fresher than we are right now because we haven't had any. And we've been in hotel rooms until this week, which the regular student body comes back. So our kids have really been even isolated more and just around ourselves. And I think mentally these kids are probably fatigued. I thought that showed up in Thursday night's game. So I thought we bounced back from that. We addressed it, talked about it. And I think now it's how do we kind of regroup and get ready because we don't have a bye until the very end of February. We had one originally on Thursday, but then we had a week that was going to be crazy. And so I think it's better that we're going to play Florida State on Thursday. But when we were going to have to be able to chance to give them a couple of days off and let them really kind of refresh themselves, now we don't necessarily get to do that. And this group's got to mentally be able to handle what happened today. And it's going to hurt. It's going to sting. It does. It was not a happy locker room. We're not into moral victories. I don't care if we are little old Wake Forest. That doesn't mean anything to us. We wanted that win, and we felt like we fought for it. We felt like we gave ourselves a chance to earn it. And my big thing with them is fight for us all the time. And I thought they did that tonight or this afternoon.
Jenna, you mentioned the COVID stuff, and I know Virginia and Duke have opted out. Was there any talk with you guys? And because I know it's it's a slippery slope these days.
Right. Actually, our kids are exact opposite. Our kids want to play basketball. These kids love being in the gym. They understand the seriousness of what's going on, and we're not looking at anybody else and questioning or judging. But our kids, they want to play, and they want to play as many games as they can, and they want to play as often as they can, and they want to go to practice. That's actually been an outlet for them. It's something that's been fun to do. I don't have to practice on a Zoom call. What are you talking about? Yay, I get to actually do something in person. And so for us, there was never even a thought. And, when it happened with Duke, I asked them, I said, if anybody wants to, it's an individual decision. It doesn't have to be a team decision. It has to be. And they all looked at me and like, Coach, we're in it. Like, this is too much fun. We don't want to, why would we opt out? And I just think like, that's the kind of kids I want in that locker room. Kids that love the game, love being around each other, love laying it on the floor, love trying to get better every day we step on the floor.
And one more thing about Gina and Yvonne. I mean, what makes them so good together? I mean, I think they're roommates, correct? I mean,
they were this year. Gina chose to live off campus as a senior. You can live off campus at Wake. So she lives downtown in a loft, and Yvonne doesn't have a car and didn't really want to have to rely on a teammate all the time. She's a very independent and, a kid that doesn't want to have to always be asking for something. So she chose to live in an apartment on campus. And actually this year she's in an apartment with Christina Mora. But they came in together as freshmen. Ivana wasn't here in summer school, and Gina has a personality that she talks a mile a minute. And she, when Ivana got here in August, that was a great match because Gina automatically just took her under her wing and was like, "This is everybody on the team, and this is where we go, and this is what we do." And it's, and it's just been a really, really good match from the beginning. And they're good because they hold each other accountable. They're able to call each other out on a bad play or a bad situation, And they both know that it's only for the good of the team and of each other, because they both understand how great each one wants to be. And I think sometimes, you can hear them talking to each other and you're almost like, a teammate that might not know that they understand that might take a little stance back, but they get that piece of it. I think they both will play basketball for a really long time.
That final look by Ivana, was that something specifically drawn up? Had you told them you wanted to take a shot to win it, or was that just like the best shot available? And it was a good look.
Yeah, I mean, I think it ended up being decent. I mean, I really thought Gina would probably go in and try to put it up on her own. I mean, we wanted to set a screen in the backcourt to try to get her full speed ahead and try to see what she could get. Could she make a read and get a pass? Or, I thought she made a pass. Ivana kind of gave a little fake, and it hits the front of the rim. It's a rush shot. It's you look back at it. I wish I had one more timeout, so we could have called a timeout, and then we got to get the ball inbounds again. But I had to call a couple early. I knew when going back and watching our Georgia Tech game, felt like I should have called a couple that I didn't. And so tonight I wasn't going to take those chances. And I'd given Gina the freedom at one point that if she needed to call one, because she just got exhausted, to call it. But when we were able to score with that tough take Ivana took, I felt like we really needed to be able to kind of take a breath and set our defense. Looking back on it, do you change it? I just think the biggest thing for us is the 12 for 24 from the free throw line, and just, we out rebounded them by 11. 24 offensive rebounds is phenomenal. I just thought we did a phenomenal job there. You only turned the ball over 11 times. There's a lot of similarities on both of our stat lines. The biggest one being they shot 100% from the free throw line, and we shot 50%. And we got there twice as much, but it doesn't matter when you come away with nothing for that twice as much.